YahawahBahashamYahawashi, Yasharahla, all praise, honor, and glory go to you, Most High Yahweh. In the name of your Son, YAHAWASHI, lifting up your holy name, YahawahBahashamYahawashi, above all things. And I just want to come to you with a quick lesson. I actually came across this article while I was just scrolling around earlier today, but then a brother actually did a lesson on it. And, it's really some disturbing stuff. I got to admit, it's just the brink of how Babylon can make things on this earth. The power that Esau has been given over to help corrupt our people. And, we know that we put ourselves in this situation from disobeying our father. But we also know that these same people that do these wicked and corruptible things are the same people that did it before. Just as he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and so you know where I'm going with it. These things are still happening now. And so I just want to start off with a quick scripture. And this is Ephesians 4 and 18. It says, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. And let me get it over to the NLT. It kind of breaks it down a little bit better. So in the NLT version, it says, their minds are full of darkness. They wander far from the life of Yahweh. Read that again. It says, their minds are full of darkness. They wander far from life. Yahweh gives because they have closed their minds and hardened their hearts against him. They have no sense of shame. They live for lustful pleasure and eagerly practice every kind of impurity. And then let me just get straight to the article. I first want to go to the brother's a video. This brother is GMS All Precepts. He's actually in Charlotte. I think he's the head of the Charlotte camp, the elder, and he does some awesome videos. So if you ever come across his videos or you want to subscribe, trust me, you're going to be edified every single time. But I'm just going to play. I'm not going to play it loud. I'm just going to play the video so you can see what he's talking about.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7 and verse 9, and it reads, "O let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end."
He starts with a scripture in Psalm 7,
but establish the just, for the righteous power trieth the hearts and reins.
And that's the article right there. I'm going to bring it up on my internet as well.
Righteous power trieth.
Sorry about that.
All right, Shalawam.
And these
I want to give all the praise.
Are two, left-hand side, you see on the left side is one manly-looking trans, and this is on the right side is another trans. Basically, let's get to the article, actually. It says, in Atlanta, trans women now indistinguishable thanks to makeup and styling. And I guess these two trans-looking women went to a mayor's ball, the head of the city, and they were just honoring all these LGBT, these alphabet, individuals. And they were just, in the article stating that you're not going to be able to tell the difference anymore in Atlanta. And we already know what Atlanta's all about. We know it's pretty much Sodom and Gomorrah over there. But don't want to put too much emphasis on the pictures. But I just want to get back to the scriptures. Once again, it says, their minds are full of darkness. They wander far from life Yahweh gives because they have closed their minds and hardened their hearts against him. And this is definitely a telling of someone whose heart has been moved away from Yahweh. And the funny thing about a lot of people that who give themselves over to this, that I've come across online, and I don't deal with them at all, but just online, some of them still have crosses on, some still be going to church, praising. They have different churches set up for these type of people. And, it's really corrupting our people to a point where, it's just disgusting. It's gotten to a point where I don't even like to have second looks at women. A joy for a man is to have, is the beauty of a woman. But unfortunately, in these last days, you don't know what you're looking at. And this is a testimony of that. So now when I see a woman that looks, good, to my eye, because I'm a man, I tell myself, don't even get a second look, because we don't know what we're dealing with. It comes to a point where unless they're showing you their box, Unless they're walking around completely naked and you see they have a box, then you don't even know. So I just want to get a couple scriptures just to kind of like highlight why these things are happening, and then some, just some personal advice, but through the scriptures as well, um, on how to deal with today's times, for those that are married, have women, for those who are not married and brothers not married, because we don't want to take away our rights. We're allowed as men to have as many wives or many women as we want to. Even the scriptures even talks about how we can deal with harlots. Meaning prostitutes, because it's a form of, it's a business. It's a form of a transaction. So it's not something that I'm trying to take away from anybody. I just want to just hit some scriptures and just have our minds on guard. And I hope it's edifying, and I hope it doesn't offend anybody. But as far as the brothers, that are expressing their freedom to have as many women as they want, just to be wise. But then if you go to Second Ezra 5, and I'm gonna start in verse 6, and it says, "And Enan, even he shall rule whom they look not for, that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together, and the Sodomish sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which may have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places," and that's a confusion. That's a confusion going on if you can't even tell men from women. Just because of the delusions and the divintions, the sorcery that's allowed on this earth by allowing women and allowing men to dress up in makeup, allowing them to dress like a woman, enhance their body parts where they have the curves of a woman. This is a confusion. And it says, "And the fire shall oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places." So these wild beasts that have these type of mind frames that the Lord has given them over to, they're starting to change from women to men. From men to women, right in front of our eyes. And it says, "And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters," because these different children that are born in these days, they don't have a standard of Yahweh's law. All they have a standard of is what they see. In social media and a different avenues that we have going on in the streets. There's no governing of what a man and a woman should be. So they just grab and see what they like. I even heard some some of the sodomites say, they just do it for the fashion, and things like that. So we just gotta watch out these days for our children, but more importantly, we gotta be aware in our own eyes and our own minds, and realize that Esau don't have our people in mind, so that we can make it in a righteous way. He has everything set up to where you have a freedom to do whatever you want to do. And Yahweh, is at this point where it says in Ephesians4 he's kind of sick of it, and he's allowing these people with these depraved minds to do whatever they want, so they can get the rightful punishment and judgment that they're going to get. So now I just want to go over to 1 Corinthians. Let's go back. In 1 Corinthians 7, and this is the Apostle Paul. Like I said, I'm not trying to take anybody's right away, because trust me, I love women. I love them, man. It's always been one of my thorns in my side. And it's rightfully so, because like I said, they are the joy. They are our joy. That's why He created them for us as helpers. But in these last days, let's listen to the Apostle Paul, what he says. It says in verse 6, it says, this is in the NLT, it says, I say this as a concession. So let's look up that word concession. It's the Greek G4774. It's sumnoma. And if you go into the word, it says a pardon, an indulgence. Go a little deeper. If you look at the word sin, it's the beginning of the word is with. And then if you go to the word genonsko, which is the root of the other word, it's to learn to know, come to know, get a knowledge of, to perceive, to feel. So it's just something that you want to know, you want to have on your mind. It's not actually a command. Go back. It says in verse 7, but I wish everyone were single just as I am, yet each person has a special gift from Yahweh of one kind or another. So I say to those who aren't married and to widows, it is better to stay unmarried just as I am. And, that was some great advice that Paul gave in those times, and even for today. Because, yes, we want to make sure that, we're staying away from all the lustful desires that can come from, desiring women, even in these times when, we get, even though we know the elect will never be fooled, the elect is going to always have the spirit on them to where they're going to be able to discern all matters. But at the same time, we want to keep Paul's scripture in mind, the scripture from Paul in mind, so that we can keep our perception. We can keep our mind on these things while we're dealing with how we deal with women. For me, I've made a decision. I have a woman, and I'm just sticking with one. Now the Lord can change anything. The Lord makes anything happen. And we do know it's coming to a time when Jacob's trouble really hit, it's going to be, it says 7-1. So I'm not dead stone and all that, but just for the time being, I'm not even really looking in that sense because of this, because of all the things going on. I don't want to be looking at something that's jiggling and find out on the other end is something dangling. Now they actually have the full operations where they can change the dangling part, the penis into to a vagina. So I don't want to be fooled in that way. So I just, for my own sake, at being about to be 49 years old, I just have my own standards of what I do. But let's just have, let's keep our perception. Let's keep our mindset, because it's many trickeries going out there. Esau has allowed, our people to transform themselves. Now we know what Esau Edom does. We know he's been a sodomite since the beginning. So I'm not surprised by them doing it or any other nations doing it. And I'm not even surprised by our people doing it. But we got to know that, it's all about Jacob and Esau. Everybody else is just a co-star in this movie of Yahweh's. But we know that, Esau, when he allows our people to do things like this, to be undistinguishable, a man be undistinguishable and pass off as a woman, that times are really at the point where we need YAHAWASHI to come back. And if you go to Matthew 19, in Matthew 19, and just to further just nail home the point of what I was saying, like I said, I'm not trying to take anybody rights away. Hope no one feels that way. Any of the brothers, I mean. And this is Matthew 19:10. It says, YAHAWASHI's disciples then said to him, if this is the case, it is better not to marry. And this is what YAHAWASHI said. It's red letters, you see. It says, not everyone can accept this statement, YAHAWASHI said. Only those whom Yahweh helps. It says, some are born as eunuchs. Some have been made eunuchs by others. And we know that eunuchs, has a double meaning. But let's look at this word eunuch, what is mentioned right here. Eunuchs in the past was mentioned as someone that could be noble, someone that could be trusted, where they won't, how can I say it? You don't have to worry about them being around women and taking your woman away, or because they were fixed on serving the Lord. And YAHAWASHI is going to go on that to a little bit more, but I just want to I just want to go into the word, the understanding of the word. It says it's the Greek word eunuch is eunokos, and it says a bed keeper, a bed guard, a superintendent of the bedchamber, a chamberlain. It says in the palace of Oriental monarchs, and Orientalist means east or wives. It says who support numerous wives, the superintendent of the woman's apartment of harem, an office held by eunuchs. It says an emasculated man, and that's the idea we always get of a man having his rod cut off. But it's a little more deeper as you keep reading. It says eunuchs in Oriental courts held by offices of greater held by the Ethiopian eunuch mentioned in Acts 8:27-39. So he wasn't the man that had his rod cut off. He was just a man that was in high honor. He was a noble. It says one naturally incapacitated. That means born without it, as Yahawah will get into. It says for marriage. So decide not to do it for marriage. Begetting children. One who voluntarily abstains from marriage. So it's a voluntary type of thing. Be a unit. It's different. It's different meanings of it. That's the whole point of what I want to get to, so we can understand it. And then we go to the root word. It's echo, and it goes into let me get to the right one. It said to hold oneself or find oneself so, and so to be in such a condition. So it's normally a voluntary thing to be a eunuch. But let's go back to the scripture. It says some are born as eunuchs, some have been made eunuchs by others, and some choose not to marry for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let anyone accept this who can. So it's a calling of the Lord to voluntarily decide to be a eunuch. Cut yourself off on women. I'm not, called to be that. I don't believe because, I have a woman, and my desire for women. But for those that can do it, YahawahBahashamYahawashi. Yahawashi didn't deal with women in that way. There's many men that Paul was another one. So we have to look at both instances in these times, especially when things Esau has different draconian measures to where women and men are being fooled by these dimensions that are going on. So YahawahBahashamYahawashi. I just wanted to get into that lesson and land back on just the brother's video, but also the article that I came across. It was amazing what happened. I seen the article. I took a little, little cat nap, whatever, because I was a little tired. And I woke up and the video was there. So with all that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to YahawahBahashamYahawashi, Bahashem Barakadash. Double honors to Yahushua first and to all the apostles, elders, teachers, bishops, priests, preachers that are doing the work in sincerity and sound doctrine. And Shalawam to his holy elect.